And now I'm a year in and have been able to reach both my financial goals with working less time. So that's been very exciting. But I think also just like the most meaningful part is how I'm feeling day to day. I'm a lot happier. I'm more content. My stress levels are a lot lower. And I just have a lot more energy for things outside of work, which has been a game changer for me.
Well, I'm excited to introduce Beth and have her share her story. So, Beth, why don't you first start and take us back to where you were when you were kind of feeling a little unsatisfied and what started to have you think about coaching?
Yeah, I think I knew I was at a place where I knew I needed to leave my job. There were definitely parts of the work that I enjoyed and felt competent in, but the larger environment was really draining for me. And I started noticing familiar patterns showing up in myself, from feeling more exhausted than energized to feeling, misaligned with the company's values and slowly starting to second guess my own values and instincts. But at the same time, I also felt pretty stuck because while I knew I wanted to leave, I really couldn't clearly articulate what I
Hmm.
wanted to do next. I knew I wanted to move more towards mission-driven work, but I wasn't sure, what kind of role or organization would actually give me that healthier balance that I was looking for.
What finally prompted you to make this investment in yourself by investing in coaching?
Yeah, I think I realized that I was really trying to solve a very like human and complex problem on my own and had this insight and self-awareness, but was really stuck in my own head and really needed to take the space to slow down and reflect and actually like untangle what was happening instead of just reacting to it. And I remember really resonating with your approach because it wasn't so much about rushing towards an outcome or forcing clarity before I was ready. It just felt like that permission to kind of pause and examine the bigger picture of how my values and my personality and the environments that I thrive in all intersect with the work itself. Yeah.
And so, what were some of the things that, looking back, were the most helpful for you in moving you through that process?
Yeah, I mean, networking's probably one of the biggest ones. I think, as so many people do, it's feels a little bit uncomfortable and also a bit extractive to me, even though I intellectually know how important it is.
Mhm.
And so I think you helped me find an approach that just felt more authentic and really allowed me to focus on more exploratory conversations and that like genuine connection rather than trying to ask for anything. And I think going through the process of naming what's actually unique about me and, what I care about, how I work, and what I bring to an organization really helped me build confidence. And probably one of the bigger things that might be um, less of a given going into the process was just how valuable your support and understanding was around the psychological side of the job search itself.
Yeah.
And so I think you really understood the mental side of the process, but also had the expertise to kind of help me navigate that in a way that prevented me from kind of spiraling or getting stuck in those feelings of self-doubt.
Maybe start to share how, as you were thinking about the search, you were open to a traditional job, but there was something else that was starting to um, come up for you.
Yeah, and I think the networking allowed me to explore so many different types of roles and different types of organizations. And so consulting had come up in a lot of those conversations where people I had worked with before or who had kind of been in similar situations to me. Where they just opened the door, I think, to consulting for me, where it was something that I had like very much written off as like no way, that's never something that I could do, and was more open to thinking about it, so that when through networking, just a good old LinkedIn post, got connected with somebody who an opportunity had come up, I felt like I was kind of queued up to think about consulting in a different way and how I might relate to it differently than I would have had I not had some of the conversations and met with different people in those particular roles. And yeah, just kept more of an open mind then to it, where I definitely would have shut down or been more reticent to think about it if I hadn't gone through that process.
So, what would
Absolutely.
you say have been some of the results for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously ended up in consulting as I said, it wasn't the original intention and had definitely planned to pursue a full-time job. And now I'm a year in and have been able to reach both my financial goals with working less time. So that's been very exciting. And I think it was just a much needed reminder for me that it is possible to work with people and organizations that you really align with and are able to do work that you generally enjoy without compromising. So I think there's just like a general sense of ease and sustainability that I didn't have before. And that's just been incredibly validating.
Yeah, and it sounds like from the portfolio of clients and the work you have, it's also a great blend of the work that both energizes you and is in your sweet spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And to have what feels like a little bit more control than sometimes you feel like in a larger setting or organization. So I
Yeah.
think that's been a good change for me.
Well, I am so thrilled that this is the path that you found, and for now, it's really serving your needs. And I'm so thrilled that your consulting role is also thriving and
Yeah.
that you've been able to be so successful at that.
Thanks, Alva.
You're welcome.